It's the weekend and demonstrators in Israel are back on the streets. This is the 15th consecutive week that protests against judicial reforms have taken place, despite Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu putting the reforms on hold. Protesters are still refusing to budge. Tens of thousands of Israelis returned to the streets of Tel Aviv on Saturday with Israeli flags in hand. Protesters reiterated what they have been demanding every week: complete revocation of the reforms. Protesters marched on the streets, lit bonfires and chanted slogans. Most of them were heard chanting democracy and shame.
אנחנו נלחמים על הדמוקרטיה שלנו, ואין לנו ארץ אחרת. זה ממש כמו מלחמת העצמאות שלנו, וגם כשמגיעים לפה וקוראים את כל הקהל הנפלא הזה, זה ממלא באופטימיות ובאנרגיה.
כי אין ברירה, כי אנחנו לא יכולים להירדם, ואנחנו לא יכולים, אנחנו צריכים להגן על המדינה שלנו. אין ברירה. ואני עייפה גמורה, אבל אין ברירה.
After the main event was over and the crowd began dispersing, some tried to reach a nearby highway, which they often block in protest. But this time, Israeli police are already stationed there in an attempt to prevent protesters from reaching it. Similar protests were held across the country. Meanwhile, Israeli government rebuffed a decision by credit ratings agency Moody's to revise its outlook on Israel to stable from positive. Central Bank and senior finance ministry officials have already warned that the judicial overhaul will impact investor sentiment and may hurt the economy. Netanyahu has put the reforms on hold until next parliament session, but protesters say that they want nothing less than a complete revocation. The reforms, first proposed in January, aim to overhaul the country's judicial system. Some parts of the legislation have already been passed. It limits the power of Supreme Court and it gives government more control in appointing judges. The government will also have powers to turn the top court's rulings. Netanyahu has said that reforms are needed to curb overreaching powers of the Supreme Court. But critics say that they would open doors to corruption. WION is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news on the move.